All right. Going live for Monday Night Live Q&A. Consciously shifting paradigms and timelines. How exciting when you know how to do it. And we're all doing it all the time. It's just a matter of, are we consciously doing it? And are we aware? All right. Monday Night Live Q&A. Consciously shifting paradigms and time. Get control of the studio here. There's a little bit of delay on the replay. So, all right. So consciously shifting paradigms and timelines. This is a bi-weekly series on Mondays and Wednesdays that we've been doing. And the purpose of it is just to have a little bit of fun and raise some conscious awareness to identify and dismantle any wounds, anything that needs to be cleared to allow us to shift out of these lower vibrational 3D timelines, the matrix, if you want to call it. If anybody's still holding any of that stuff, I'm playing with it every day and with the people that I journey with and go on the 30-day transformational waking up in the dream journeys. So if anybody has any questions, you're welcome to post them in the comments. And so one of the coolest things to become aware of is any programs that we're running. And by programs, I'm talking about lower vibrational thoughts, which include all judgments, all triggers, all feelings of inadequacy, lack of self-worth, and feelings around abundance, attracting abundance. Hey, David, great to see you. David Staub's in the house. He posts some really great stuff. Check out his page if you want to tune in and have some great reminders for raising your conscious awareness and a lot of truth being shared. So great to have you here, David. So consciously shifting paradigms and timelines, in order to do it, we have to be aware that our internal frequency or vibration is creating what's showing up in our reality. And the way I explain it to people, and the way I explain it waking up in the dream, is a little bit of glare on there, but it's okay, you can see it, is this process of going in and healing anything that we need to heal from childhood, which could be, not receiving enough love, or being told that we were stupid, or being physically abused. A lot of the people that I journey with have a story kind of like mine where, we grew up in a less than ideal environment, and it's part of our soul contract. So the aware person will go, okay, it happened. Now, have I cleared these frequencies? Have I forgiven everyone that played a role on my soul's journey? And have I gotten to the point where I've either thanked them for being my teacher? Now, in the case of something like severe physical abuse, rape, or things like that, which is a lot of the people that I journey with, we go through and clear this stuff. You may not be in a position, and it may not resonate to say thank you. But in a lot of cases, such as parents, grandparents, and a lot of our greatest, everybody's our teacher, but a lot of the really maybe intense things that we're holding in our memory or our energy field, these were part of a soul contract. And if you can get on board with even being open to that possibility, it makes it much easier to find the gift and to go through the forgiveness process, clear that stuff, and give the little inner child that safety to come out and begin to play again. Because, man, this journey is about getting curious and playing. What happens is, in the current 3D paradigm, we're getting tossed into a school system. It's a system, it's an institution, and it was set up for a reason. And we're basically taught what to think instead of how to think, how to process our emotions, how to understand where the belief system came from, what it is. I'll get into that. The reason I laugh is because when I met my teacher, when I met my main mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, in 2001, one of the greatest gifts that he gave me was to go in and write down what my beliefs were and where they came from. And it was one of the biggest aha moments I've ever had, because I realized none of my beliefs are mine. None of them. They all came from outside myself. They were all downloaded onto my hard drive, my mind, through my parents, my grandparents. I was tossed into Catholic school in 2nd grade until 9th grade. That was like every day was Judgment Day. Every day was Judgment Day. It was pretty intense. And even when I was in the 2nd grade, I didn't know anything about conscious awareness or that concept. But my internal intuition and guidance system told me something's really wrong here. You're going to be judged by somebody on Judgment Day. And if you want to have any chance of getting into heaven, you can't think about women or the opposite sex or ever say a cuss word, all these parameters. I mean, it was pretty intense for little kids. And my best friend and I were like, we were all straight A and B students. And we were always in trouble. We were the ones that were always in trouble because we were triggering the nuns. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Philip. Great to see you. So what's really, really key, if you want to talk about consciously shifting paradigms and timelines, well, what are they? It's actually attracting everything into your reality through your inner vibration of your thoughts and your words, and then the emotional energy or frequency that you're holding within. So this is really, really key. And it's really, really key to figure out how we're creating our reality. Because so many people, including myself, I believe that everything was happening to me out there. And in some cases, if it involved physical abuse, it was actually happening to me in a tangible reality. This is happening. But so many of us are taught, we don't understand that the hologram out there is backwards. It's actually 180 degrees, the opposite of what most of us think is going on. And so if you want to play the game and you really want to create your reality consciously, you need to understand this. And so the best way I can explain it is, growing up in Catholic school, I was taught to be a judgeaholic. Not because I was bad or I chose that, but because I thought, well, first of all, I was around a lot of these nuns, and they were angry, and they were judging everything. I mean, they were really shaming us. It was stand in the corner with your nose, and you're going to hell. And I mean, this is serious. This is intense for little kids, you know? So I became a judgeaholic because I thought that's how we change things out there. But it doesn't work. Sure, it's okay to point things out, and it's okay to sign some petitions and be a change agent. However, if you think that pointing out everything that's wrong changes it, you got it backwards. And I did this for a long time. I just got distracted from a comment. It says, so needed. How cool. So needed to hear your wisdom tonight in this moment. You popped in what I most need is. I don't even know who it is, Facebook user, but God bless you. That alone is worth doing this and why I do this. Because this stuff really works. It really creates major, major changes in our lives. This is a step-by-step, very simple. It's not a big, thick book. There's no filler. It's a step-by-step guide in going in and doing the inner healing and then understanding what I'm talking about on a deeper level. Hey, Sonia, great to see you. I don't know if I pronounced your name right. Sana. Sana's in the house. So we need to understand how this hologram is operating. And it's operating through frequency and vibration. And many of you know this. Excuse me. I'm not trying to sit here on my high horse and, act like I have all this figured out. I'm the master. No, I have some things figured out that I know that work because I studied with some really incredible teachers, and I had to go in and look at my wounds and my triggers and my operating system. In my operating system, hey, Lori, great to see you. Oh, okay, it's Lori. I don't know why I'm not seeing your what's it called? Avatar. I love that. That's one thing that Facebook did that was good, correct. Avatars, because we are avatars. Great movie, by the way. Lots of great lessons in that. So, my main mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote The Four Agreements, The Master of Love, Beyond Fear, he happened to live in San Diego where I lived. So, used to go to these 3-day dreaming weekends. We would lock in to this building, the Dreaming Center, on Friday afternoon, and we would stay until Sunday afternoon. And the only time we would leave is to go eat. So we used to go eat breakfast and dinner. Sometimes we didn't leave for lunch because we were just locked in and we're munching on, vegetables or bananas or whatever, because we want to get done as much as we can during these weekends. I'm looking off to the right, aren't I? I need to be looking into the camera. It's a little tricky the way my screen's set up, but I want to be as present as I can with you. So Michelle says, how old were you when you changed so much? Well, I met Miguel, I think it's been 20 years this year. I met him in 2001. So when we roll into 2021, sounds interesting to say that, 2021. Yeah, that's when I started to, I knew Miguel had some gifts when I heard him speak. And then I had to commit to doing the dreaming weekends, and you had to commit to 1 year. And at that time, I was living in my recording studio as a recording engineer, and I didn't have any guaranteed amount of income every month. So Miguel was really smart. It was like, if you want to be part of the monthly dreaming weekends, you need to commit to 1 year. So that brought up a lot of fear for me because I had never been good at manifesting money. I grew up where my father passed away when I was 7 in a plane crash, and my mom, God bless her, did the best she could, but there was always fear around money and lack around the people that I was around. So that up until 2 years ago, that was a huge program in my life. And I had to really go in and dismantle that. And so this is what I talk about. And so getting back to the belief system, Miguel got the small group that I was involved in 2001, 2002, to really look at our belief system. And this was a critical aha moment for me. It really was. Because I realized that my belief system wasn't even mine. It came completely from outside of myself. And the belief system is the number one thing that triggers people into judgment and into reactionary mode, what I call the automatic reactor in the book. And you have to be able to see the automatic reactor if you want to dismantle the automatic reactor in these programs. You have to be willing to look at your stuff, and you have to be able to see the program. Otherwise, the ego is going to defend the program. And why does the ego defend the program? Because when we have a judgment or a trigger, there's an emotional reaction to the judgment or the trigger. And like I said, I was a judgeaholic. I thought that if I pointed out everything that was wrong out there, somehow it would get changed. But this is what's really key about the topic, shifting paradigms and timelines and creating our reality. I was not changing things by pointing them out, by being a judgeaholic, which I talk about in the book. I wrote a whole chapter. Chapter 5 is all about the biggest addiction on the planet. And the biggest addiction on the planet, it's really key to look at this, is not drugs and alcohol. It's judgment. It's judgment. We were taught to be judgeaholics. We were taught in all these systems, the media, history, science, school. We were not taught how to process our emotions, most of us. I wasn't. My parents did the best they could, and then my mom did the best they could when my dad passed away at 7. So I was lost. I was totally lost when that happened. But it's okay. You know why? Wasn't okay then, that's for sure. But that was part of my soul contract. And there's been many, many gifts that have come up by me having to be the only kid in school without a dad. Fuck, that was intense. That was tough. But there were a lot of my friends' dads that ended up being really cool to me. You know, so everybody's playing their role. And the key is to get out of victim mode of anything and everything that happened to us, because it was part of our soul's journey. This is really key to get. Now, I might trigger somebody, and I'm not trying to do that. If you're one of the people that have either had somebody murdered in your family, or you got horribly abused, or maybe sexually assaulted. And I journey with people like that to clear this stuff. So if you get triggered when I say that, I understand. I'm just going to ask you to try and hang in there and look at what the soul's journey is and why we're here, especially at this incredible time. Yeah, it's the grand rising, as Lori says. Totally. And we came here for this. So if you can't tell already, man, the energies that are coming into the planet right now. Hey, there's Nancy Colville. Hey, Nancy, much love to you. Hey, Pamela. We came here for this, and you can see that things are getting exposed and people are waking up more than any other time in recorded history that we know of. So it's time to get excited, and it's time to understand the difference between staying in 3D, lower vibrational repeating timelines, and how the media and the medical system, they're trying to keep us down. And so they're pushing vaccines, and they're pushing face masks. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah. Excited. Yeah, Nancy's excited. Rock and roll. Yeah, Nancy went through the Waking Up in the Dream course, and I would love to have her come on sometime. And I love your avatar picture. I love that one. It's beaming. And she went through it, and her energy is completely different now than when I met her, because she's a rock star and she confronted a lot of stuff. I would love to have her come on sometime. So creating our reality, creating our paradigm and timelines, and shifting out of 3D. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Me, Les, and our kids are clearing so much right now, because she actually shared the tools and the trainings in the book with her kids, and they started all to identify the judgments and the triggers and the programs together, and they were actually pointing them out. I remember her sharing that her kids were actually pointing out, Mom, you need to click on that one. There's a trigger. And it's so great. And this, I love you too. Thank you so much. And this, hey, Wendy Cross, great to see you. And this is what the children should be taught moving forward. So I'm working on, I don't like to use the word work, but if I said playing to you that haven't gone through the course, you might not understand it. So let's say this. I'm in the process of creating Waking Up in the Dream for children, because this is what we should have been taught when we were old enough to understand concepts. Because if we're not taught how to process our emotions and triggers, then every time we have one, we're going to recreate the same thing over and over and over and over. And we're going to think that somebody out there is doing something to us when that's not the case. So 22 people on here right now. I feel so honored. And to see some of you guys that have, gone through this journey and that are showing up and, posting your comments, it's really valuable, because there's a lot of people that are watching this and watching the replays. And this is going out to YouTube Live right now. It's going out to my Facebook page, and it's also going into the Waking Up in the Dream. I don't remember the name of the group. I apologize. It's the Waking Up in the Dream activation group. I don't know. I'm in a bunch of groups. But anyway, the point is, a lot of people are seeing this on the replay, and a lot of people don't want to show up and do comments because, they don't want to be seen right now, and they just want to, see what's going on. So you guys asking questions really opens up things for me so I can mirror different things that are going on. So that's why I've committed to doing this on Mondays and Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so check this out. This is great. Thank you, Nancy. I've given away so many clickers. It works, and it trains you to be conscious, therefore becoming more awake and more aware. And I will add, thank you, Nancy, to see the program. So let's talk about a program. Let's go back to judgment, the biggest addiction on the planet, because we all do it. And the ego justifies it because it feeds off of it like a Pac-Man until we dismantle it. So when Nancy talks about the clicker, she's talking about this tool where we track our triggers and our judgments and our wounds, and we track them every day to the best of our ability. And when you go on this journey, you will have me mirroring you on a daily basis. And if you don't think that will create the greatest shift in your conscious reality, I can tell you that it does. And I'm so passionate about this because it took me 20 years to figure this out. I bought a lot of good books. I bought all the spiritual books that everybody else bought, The Secret, The Four Agreements, Think and Grow Rich, Abraham Hicks, The Law of One, all of them. And I would read them, and I got some good tools out of a lot of them, but my ego would go, wow, this is really good. This is really good. Then I'd read it and I'd go buy the next book and the next book. But none of them taught me step by step by step how to go through and dismantle the subconscious wounds, automatic programs of judgment in my triggers. They didn't. I'm sure there's other great books out there. There's a lot of great teachers out there. But none of them taught me the step-by-step thing, how to do it. So after studying with Miguel for 17 years, I started downloading the book. And I never planned on writing a book ever. I was a recording guy. I still am. I play guitar. I love music. That's what I was doing, living in my studio. But I was like, you need to write this down for Jeff so he doesn't forget. And luckily, one of my friends, one of them was Tina Unique Faith. She's not on here right now because she's in a different time zone, but she asked me if she could read it. And I said, yeah. And she mirrored me and she goes, you have to put this out. And I was like, oh, it's already out there. My judge came in. I'm not an author. She's like, no, this is a really powerful process. So I put it out and it turned into the course. And, it's been an incredible journey. And this is what we need to learn to step out of 3D timelines. And here's why. We can't shift out of 3D lower vibrational timelines if we're still holding judgment, resentment, anger, guilt, less than, or fear around money or stepping into our soul's purpose. We can't. Excuse me. And here's the reason why. Because in 5D, it's a higher vibrational frequency, the higher timelines. Judgment, fear, anger, hatred, those don't exist. They can't exist. Our light bodies, our frequencies are raising. And 5D is here. Sometimes I say up here because I want people to understand the difference between, judgment and things we're holding lower. So I sometimes use my hands. But 5D and beyond is here. All these timelines are here right now. Look at my backdrop. So imagine every one of those little spots or stars. That's a timeline. So think about that as one of them is my abundance up there. I got to do everything in reverse. Okay, that big star, that's you. Okay, now every other little star is one of your timelines, your desire, your soulmate, your friends, your abundance, your kids, whatever it is you want to bring in. Okay, so they're already here. The key is, and this was not taught in the book, The Secret, and I gave away about 10 or 12 of those DVDs for Christmas the year it came out, because there's a lot of good information in there. But they're missing one big piece, and it's the piece. To manifest our desire, we must see it here now, not in the future. Because the subconscious only knows how to take direct commands. So if we go, I'm working on, having more clients and having more money and stuff, the subconscious goes, okay, well, it's in the future. We don't have to worry about that one. I'm talking into my mic, simulating what the subconscious does. Super key to get this. Okay, this is all part of the piece that I'm putting together about creating our timeline, creating our reality, and identifying any beliefs or triggers or wounds that are stopping that from happening. Okay, so when I journey with people, I get them to heal these limiting programs, to be able to catch a judgment and clear it immediately and ask, what is the gift this is showing me? Well, every time we have a gift, every time we have a judgment, which is the biggest addiction on the planet, we can feel the frequency of that. And when we train ourselves through these tools to go in and do this stuff, we start to clear decades of frequencies, low vibrational frequencies that we've been holding, that in many cases, we don't even know we've been holding them. Why? Because the ego justifies it. Why? Because we end up taking on a belief system and we think that that's who we are. And it's not. It's one of the greatest illusions in this 3D matrix, and that's how the dark ones have kept us stuck in it for so long. Yeah, super key to get this. Super key. And so we have to see what the belief system is, what the trigger mechanism is, which is judgments and wounds and beliefs, and how the ego reacts to it. And if you don't see this, you're going to keep running them, and you're going to keep being stuck in 3D, or you might, we're constantly moving in and out of timelines. Love, excitement, compassion, generosity, that's 5D timelines. But then if we have a fear or a doubt or a judgment or a trigger, we're right back down into 3D. So the key is to clear this stuff so we can start magnetizing in and operating in only 5D and beyond timelines. I love what Jennifer shares here. You are not your beliefs. It's just a program that came from outside of us. And there's good programs. I only kept two of my beliefs. One is that I am an unlimited sovereign divine being. And I want to talk about that in a minute, because I think most light workers believe that they're unlimited, but they don't really believe that they're unlimited. Because unlimited means that you can manifest anything that you can imagine. And actually, it's already happening on a timeline if you can imagine it. Those timelines behind me, they're all existing. If you have a thought, it already exists. It's not in the future. It's here now. It's really key to get this. It's just that we need to align 100% with that vibrational frequency. So what does that mean? It means that when it comes to money, abundance, and manifestation, there can be no doubt, zero. Because that keeps it from coming in. We have to match that vibration. So the key is to get really excited and go, yeah, it's here now. And this is the little tricky part that we need to learn. Because if the ego will want to come in and go, well, it's not here yet. And you have to go, okay, Larry. My ego's name is Larry. And it's very key if you name your ego. So you can begin to see when it does, what it does, and runs the programs that it runs. So this is a lot, and I appreciate everybody that's hung on here for a half hour. If anybody has any questions now, please pop them in, because this is what I really want to do. You know, all my videos that are on my YouTube channel and in my video section of my Facebook page that you can go look at for free at any time, I kind of go over this stuff over and over because it's really key. And I had to hear Don Miguel Ruiz say things, some of them 100 times, because my mind went, yeah, that's really good. But I was still holding a program underneath, and I hadn't downloaded and cleared my limiting beliefs, my judgments, my fears, and my doubts. So that's why I say things over and over many times. So if anybody has any comments or questions they want to pop into the comment section, please feel free to do it. And, you know, this is a link to the 30-day journey that I take people on, which is deep, deep. It covers everything in the book. It covers inner healing. And I only work with 4 people each month, and I take them through this journey. And I provide them with all the programs and the PowerPoint trainings from the book, which you can also get on the website, the digital course. It's $97. It'll change your life because it'll get you to see those programs. The book's on sale for $22 at half price right now if you want to grab it at the website. But the journey that I go on with 4 people, and the reason I only do it with 4 people is because we go back and forth every day. It kind of needs to be done. That level of mirroring needs to be done, because until you can see the program, your ego is going to defend it. And so it's the most powerful work that I know of on the planet. And if you want to join our monthly newsletter, you can go to portal2awakening.com. Just sign up. I don't blast people with a ton of emails. I do my best to really give you something of value, a video and a tool every time I send somebody something, or I do a combination where I advertise an event or something like that. But I really want you to get value and not get emails and go, this dude's just spamming me. I won't do that because I don't like that stuff myself. So really, really key. So let's see what we have in the comments section here. Yeah, this is really key. Thank you, Jennifer, for naming your ego, because if you can't see it, you can't dismantle it. And it's going to convince you that you're right. And this is really key. I want to come back to this because we end up getting the belief system, okay? The reason why we get triggered into judgment is because anything that comes in that goes against our belief system, we get triggered. And there's an emotional response to that. Even if it's a slight judgment, you can feel it. Even if it's like, that person's ridiculous for driving in their car wearing a mask. I mean, right? Okay, whatever. God bless them. You know, they're here as our teachers. Anytime we have a judgment, we catch it and we thank the person that just triggered us into a judgment, because they're our teacher. And we thank them and we go, Thank you for showing me that I'm still holding on to something where I can judge. Really, really key. Everybody is our teacher, especially the ones that trigger us. And if you really want to go deep, check out this one that Miguel taught me. Everybody is you. That was a big one. That took a long time to digest, because it's like, what? Even the pedophiles and people that are poisoning my food, air, and water and everything, that's me? Well, they're part of the collective, and there's only one. So when I talk about forgiveness, yeah, we have to forgive the pedophiles and the people that are doing forced vaccines. It doesn't mean that I'm not all for removing them from the planet. I am. Somehow they got wounded, or they lost their soul, or they decided to serve Satan. So yeah, they should be removed from the planet. I have no problem stating that. If you're intentionally harming people and children and sacrificing them and killing them and drinking their blood, yeah. But we still need to forgive them. Why? Because if we're holding a judgment that keeps us stuck in 3D, and who's holding the low vibrational frequency? Us. So this was a big aha moment for me. Michelle Barr, Newsom is not me. Well, Bill Gates isn't you or me either, but they're holding a frequency in the collective. So in order to shift into 5D, you need to see that Newsom, I just ask you to be open to this. You don't have to agree with me like my teacher told me. Don't believe me. Don't believe anybody else. But don't believe yourself. Be really careful. If Newsom is triggering you, which he's perfectly playing his role right now, it's getting so insane. Oh, I'm joking. Okay. Okay, well, what you brought up, Michelle, in your comment is really key, and I'm just going to pop it up for a second because it's super key, and this is why. Because everybody is playing their role right now to wake people up. And you can see that some people aren't waking up no matter what. I mean, if you can't see that the tell-lie vision is the #1 tool of brainwashing and deception, then I don't know what's going to wake you up. So what's going to wake you up is right now, people are being locked down. You're being told things like, you can't have more than 3 people for Thanksgiving or Christmas. I mean, are you kidding me? You can walk into a restaurant, you have to wear a mask, but as soon as you sit down, you can I mean, for anybody that's watching this, you know it's mind-bogglingly so ridiculous, but this is what needs to happen. So what we're seeing right now is we're going to see Newsom and Pelosi and people in other countries, and we're going to see these people push the vaccine. And unfortunately, because a lot of people are in fear, they're not even going to bother to read the ingredients, which says it's got a chip in it. It's got baby fetuses in it. And the big thing, well, a chip, that's big. And even these things are sticking up your nose. There's a chip on it. Time to wake up. The new vaccine alters your DNA permanently, and it is not reversible. I'm not into going into fear here, but this is part of what I'm sharing. So we need to forgive everybody. And yes, they are stuck in 3D, and some will choose to awaken, and some might not. Our #1 key is to have compassion for them, to send them love and forgiveness, and to be there to give them a hand up. Because I guarantee you within the next 30 to 60 days, things are going to be revealed that are going to shock people into waking up big time. A lot of people are going to see that the person they've been hating on has been the one person that's been taking down the dark ones and taking people to Gitmo and taking people, basically taking them out of commission, removing them from the planet, and the pedophiles. And a lot of people that don't want to believe that all this stuff has been going on because it's so shocking, they're going to have to wake up to it. It's the only way that we're going to heal thousands of years of child sacrifice and pedophilia in, government and religion. I grew up in religion. I was an altar boy till 9th grade. I was in Catholic schools. Fuck. Programming was deep. Okay. It's December, remember. So it's happening, people. And anybody that stayed on this call is obviously aware I would have triggered you a long time ago. Okay, here's a great question. I'm glad I scrolled through. Trinity. Hey, Trinity, how do I overcome negativity? I can't see myself in an abundant or positive situation. I'm adding word. Even if I try to visualize it, it doesn't come. Great question. And God bless you for having the courage to ask. This is how we move through this stuff, okay? So how do I overcome negativity? First thing, catch every negative thought and every negative trigger. You've gone through the book. I gave you these tools. I'm not reprimanding you. I'm just saying you have the information. And so it's rinse and repeat. Practice these tools that are in the book. Every time you have a negative thought. So here's the deal, okay? I'm going to go into the second part of your sentence. Even if I try and visualize, it doesn't come. Thank you for bringing this up. Because Jeff here paid for a lot of seminars, a lot of money, and I bought a lot of books on how to attract money. I paid for the courses, two-handed EFT tapping. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. I did it for hours and days and weeks and months. Didn't work. I was frustrated. Why didn't it work? Because I hadn't cleared the underlying belief of lack that I got when my dad died, and I went through and I had all this mirroring of lack and fear around money. We've got to go in and do the inner clearing. But it's not that difficult. When they call it the dark night of the soul, they call it that because they don't want you to go there. I call it the doorway, the opening to everything you ever desired. It's easy to clear if you're just willing to go in and look at it and catch the trigger when it comes up. So in your case, Trinity, when you think about money or negativity, are you going in and clearing those thoughts? Because number one, as I've described on this call, and I do in all my videos almost, every time you have a fear-based thought or a trigger or a judgment, you've been taught the tools to go in and catch it. So every time we have a judgment, we catch it, we take a breath, and we go, okay, so I'm still holding on to a trigger. And then you thank it. You thank the person, whoever you're judging or whoever triggered you. And through doing this repeatedly over and over and over, you start to dismantle the triggers. But you have to catch it, and you have to do it over and over and over until you clear these frequencies and you go, oh, it's a gift. It's the hologram showing me where I'm still holding the low vibrational 3D frequency that's keeping me stuck in these recycling, repeating patterns in my life and relationships. It's built into the soul that it will keep showing up until we get it. So you're either going to be frustrated over and over and over and over by Larry, the ego, or whatever your ego's name is, or you're going to start to go, oh, there's another one. I'm still holding judgment around X, Y, or Z. And then you thank them and you go in and you do the process. You've got to be able to see the trigger, the judgment in the program in order to clear it. So I invite you to go back through the book. It's all there. It's all there. And keep coming and watching these downloads and asking your questions. And if you have another question that came up for you right now, please pop it in. And before I leave, I will, I'll do my best. Yeah, Nancy. She's saying, catch the triggers, you know? Catch the triggers and ask, what's this trying to show me? Ask, what is the gift here every time I have a judgment? Because here's the trick that you see everybody out there, well, not everybody, but most people, they're reacting. They're hating, or anybody that doesn't agree with them, they're triggered. That's because they don't see the program. This is so key. It's totally life-changing. It's totally priceless. So I intend that if anybody's got a final question or questions, pop it in here. And I really, intend that this has been valuable, because this is it. This is the way that we create the new paradigms and we step out of the old repeating timelines. Super key. Super key. And, here's the link. If you're somebody, I have 2 spots open right now for journeying with me for 30 days. And you'll get this every day. And when you watch the trainings and you receive all the tools, you will heal anything and everything that you're still holding within. So if you're interested in that, go to the link there at the website, portal2awakening.com, transform, or send me a private message in Messenger. And I'm happy to get on a call with you. No obligation, because I want people that are really ready to do this, because I put in a lot of daily effort. I'm thinking about you in the morning. I'm sending you energy. And if you don't reach out to me within a day, I'm sending you a message, because this stuff works. And eventually this will be taught in school. This is the most important thing, because we need to learn how to process our emotions. Let me see. Yeah, being the observer. Absolutely. You got to be the observer. I talk about in the book. People are really in one of 2 categories. They're either an automatic reactor, which means they react in judgment or trigger from the wound from childhood, or they catch it and they're the conscious observer. Conscious observers are consciously creating their reality. And that's how we step into 5D. So super, super key. I mean, it really, really is. And I want to share one thing here real quick. Yeah. This is the process. And this is us getting on calls and really mirroring through this stuff. So if you have any interest in this is speaking to you and you're like, yeah, I'm ready, then reach out and we'll get on a call. So I want to thank everybody that shares these. If you know anybody that could really benefit from this stuff, tell them to come on Wednesday for the next one. And, everybody that shares these, I'm really, really grateful to you. This is the most exciting time that we've ever been in. And I want to leave you with this. If you're not beginning your day every morning excited, then you're running a program. It's really, really key to get excited. And if there's anything that's keeping you from being excited, then go in and figure out what it is. Use these tools. Go to my YouTube channel. Get the book. It's less than the cost of a dinner or lunch. Or grab the digital course with the trainings. I promise you, it's the most worthwhile investment ever. It really is. Because until we learn this stuff and we can see the programs and we go in and heal the wounds, they're going to keep showing up, because that's the way the hologram is built. We can't fake our way around it. We can't claim that we're a light worker and our name is, Linda Butterfly, and all we focus on are our crystals and everything else. Those are good tools. But unless we go in and, dismantle the programs, they're going to keep showing up, because that's how the soul's journey works. So this is why I'm so passionate about this. Yeah, ego and judgment are the biggest addictions. They really are. And you got to be able to see it. And this will allow you to do it. So thank you to everybody. I'll be back on Wednesday at the same time, 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. I have to remember because I'm in the future. It's Tuesday here where I'm at. It's 10:23 in Thailand. And so thank you again. Much love to everybody. And yeah, look forward to connecting with you soon. Be the observer. Be the observer and be ready to really be compassionate for the people that are going to get triggered into awakening very soon. This is what we came here for, not to judge them and not to go, I tried to tell you 2 years ago. That's not the way to do it. You know, people don't need more judgment. They need compassion. We didn't know all this stuff before either. And it's an honor that somehow we were able to figure out some of this stuff. And there's a lot more layers to come too. So, you know, seeing 5D is just the beginning. We're still in kindergarten. It's about to get really freaking exciting. The energies that are going to come in. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you as well. Yeah. I appreciate every comment, every person that's on here, because, you know, otherwise, why am I doing this? You know, I'm just talking to myself. Kapun kap. That's in Thai. That means thank you. Thank you. I know very little Thai, and I've been here almost 4 years, but thank you for that. That's my first Thai comment. I love that. God bless you. And I don't know how to say God bless you, but I'll say kapun kap. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Be the observer. Be compassionate to others that are waking up, and they'll love you for it, because they're already going to feel silly that they've been, you know, brainwashed by the television. They're going to feel kind of silly. So if we open up and just go, it's okay. Come on. We've been waiting for you. It almost gives me tears because it's so powerful. It really is so powerful. Hey, Doug, great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. And yeah, we're all in this together, and it's getting really freaking exciting. And this month is going to rock with the reveals that are coming and the energy that's coming in. I mean, it's always coming in. So the 21st might be, you know, a big boom. I don't know. But if we consciously focus on all this, those are the timelines that we're creating. So get excited, stay excited. And if you have any questions or anything, reach out to me. Much love. Have an incredible day or evening where many of you are at. And again, thank you to everybody that shares these. I'm greatly honored. And I'll be back on Wednesday. So until then, get excited and stay excited. You're creating your reality with your frequency and your vibration. If that's not something to get excited about, I don't know what is. These are the keys, and we came here for this. Much love.